Welcome to Light Play, fellow light weavers. A very big warm welcome. So what is light play? Light play is offering you videos and podcasts for your joyful transition into the golden Aquarian age and beyond. Myself, Jane, Lorna and Barry will be joined by cosmic beings who wish to come amongst us to serve humanity and the earth at this time. In this first series, Vywamus, a great cosmic being, and the soul of Sanat Kumara, our planetary Logos, joins us to share his light, his wisdom, and a direct experience of the light that you are. Lorna, myself, and Barry have heard the call. We've come together to joyously serve, and in doing so, light play has birthed itself into being to offer you advanced light techniques, a direct experience of being with and working with the light, humour and wisdom, all wrapped up to offer you light play. We invite you to reconnect to the light that you are, to know that you are never alone, to reconnect to the vastness of your being, for our lights to join together so brightly that anything not of the light dissolves, so that you may truly know all that you are, your mighty I Am presence. So that's a little introduction to light play, and we will be sharing regular podcasts and videos. Please do join us because it's going to be a great journey. Sending you all lots of love. Namaste. Okay, so welcome to Light Play. This is where we get to play with the light. And within our this light play gathering, we have been learning more about Vywamus, experiencing Vywamus and playing with Vywamus. And this amazing light being would like to come through more. And so I'm just going to, one of the ways we got to learn about Vywamus is through an amazing book, Light Techniques, channeled by Janet McClure. So I'm just going to read this introduction to Vywamus. Please take it through your own heart. Vywamus is a great being, a cosmic being who has come among us to serve during these critical yet marvelous times when humanity seeks to evolve into spiritual consciousness, casting off the outworn forms and moving into a greater light, into the new age. He tells us that he was invoked by humanity's desire to evolve and came here, as many spiritual teachers are now doing, to make this transition as painless and smooth as possible, and at as high a vibrational level as possible. Vywamus is a higher aspect of Sanat Kumara, our planetary Logos, who ensouls the earth and all upon it and within it. The earth, in effect, is being held together by his consciousness. Vywamus can be equated to the soul of Sanat Kumara. Long ago, Vywamus chose to express in physical existence and evolved through the physical chain, just as humanity on this planet has chosen to do. He evolved on a planet far distant from here, but one that was similar to the Earth. While in physical existence, he was offered the opportunity to be a channel for a very high spiritual teacher. He feels that by thus serving, he was able to gain clear perception of the nature of existence and evolving consciousness, which enabled him to ascend in his next life. Ascension was accomplished after only 37 incarnations in the physical. Because of the experience of his rapid gain in evolution due to his channeling, he encourages his students to learn to channel, not only as a service to bring the spiritual teacher's message to the earth, but to aid their own development. Now, in his great love, Vywamus has chosen to aid mankind through dedicated channels such as Janet McClure, and he offers his teachings through classes and personal work, as well as through sound, which is one of his specialities. In gratitude to Vywamus and Janet McClure, and likewise in gratitude to all the beings here today, Lorna, Barry and Jane, and particularly thanking Vywamus and calling Vywamus into this space. So we have, just as an add-on to that, what we would say within light play is that we are here to play with the light. So we're truly walking kindergarten masters, and part of that is playfulness. So we encourage play and lightness, humor in this space. So we've been guided to share 3 questions amongst Lorna, Barry and myself, and for Lorna to act as the primary channel for Vywamus. So the first question is, Vywamus, why is Vywamus coming through to us at this time? As we've just heard, great wisdom has come through the lights of Janet McClure. Are these teachings not timeless?
Teachings are of a time, the divine present now. And as you know, the book you read from was printed in 1988. Much has changed, one might observe. All of you might have observed there has been much change even in the last 7 months since you joined together. There has been much change. And so the fundamentals of light are the fundamentals of light. They don't change. How you apply them, how you work with them, how you together play with them, shift them, transmute, that will change as you yourself change. So in a sense, things change all the time and nothing changes. So why now? This is a really very relevant question. We observe that much of what was catalyzed by that original channeling and the work that was done with the Tibetan Foundation is extremely important. And we also observe that there is stagnation. This is the word we wish to use. There is stagnation amongst you light workers that we feel would benefit from different different approach, a lighter, playful approach. And we feel much playfulness in your constellation, and yet more playfulness in your constellation, which is yet to be realized. And this playfulness has a place in this time and space, in this divine present moment. Playfulness is not separate from chaos, and chaos is not separate from playfulness. So it may serve you to recall that when you play, you don't always know where you're going. You don't always know where you're going to get to. And yet, it's fun. Does this answer your question?
Beautiful. That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Lorna. Thank you, Vywamus. So just taking that one aspect of stagnation, which certainly resonates for me. So within that, both stagnation and then perhaps any other action steps that humanity can take on their path to self-realization. So if we take stagnation as an example, what is the opposite? What loving action can each of us take to move out of that stuckness, or any other words that come to mind or feelings? What loving action steps can we take to enable movement?
There are two parts. Well, there are many parts, but there are at least two relevant parts to our observation of stagnation. One part is the tendency to preference to privilege, to give prevalence to that which has been written or channeled before. And our observation is that the desire to stick to what has been channeled before, what has been provided before, is common. It doesn't always serve. And it doesn't always serve because everything is always changing. Everything in the universe moves in every divine present now moment. So we invite you to embrace change, to almost accept that it's okay if when you're working with something that is from the past, as you already have experienced with spontaneously, with the great invocation which you wish to bring into your workshop, and yet you felt was somehow didn't resonate for you, so you allowed a new version to come through. And this is what we say. We would like you to embrace the openness of something new. You might label it as new. It's not new. It's just something that has not been in your awareness before. So we feel that part of the stagnation is this over-reliance, or this desire to honor what has come through, to the detriment of allowing your own evolving expressions to be manifest, to come forward. And the second part is our observation of stagnation for humanity is the almost wishing to know where and how things will develop, how things will be, how things will manifest in the future, when our guidance would be allow that subconscious part of you that wishes to have that security. Allow it, work with it to feel more comfortable in having no destination, having instead joy in the moment. Now, we know that all of you are aware of this. We know that all of you have done much work on this in various guises and under various names. Presence was mentioned earlier in the conversation before we started these questions, and presence is one of the, well, at the moment, let us say that it is a very important gateway to all that is. So not knowing can cause stagnation, we observe. So the question for humanity is perhaps somewhat confused, in the sense that suggesting to humanity that it visualize its own future is possibly not as helpful as suggesting that humanity go to the future and align with that which already is. It may feel or seem a little different way of working. It's not necessary to recreate or visualize. It already exists. What would be helpful is to align with it and stay aligned with it. And this is the work you're already aware of with alignment, why that is so important. I feel you have other questions.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you. So what I'm hearing there is that expression, sort of, yeah, aligning with divine will, getting out of our own way, yeah, that's excellent. Thank you very much. So the next question that wishes to come through is, how can we as light weavers better navigate our moments, our days, our weeks, our months and years ahead, to stay in our loving power, our truth, our grace and our radiance as we transition into this new golden age?
Yeah, it is as spoken before, to stay within the divine present now, in the sense that all that is available to all of us, all of you, every one of us is available in every moment. To plan ahead is to limit in a very subtle way. If I may, if you had known 7 months, 8 months ago that you would be where you are now, could you have imagined that? Could you have envisioned that?
No.
No.
So this is where the way of planning, the way of visualizing in that sense of, I create a vision and I follow my vision, is less supported in the fifth dimension, as you already know. It is more the way of the third dimension, and even saying that it's a dimension is limiting it, and isn't how it is in many other ways, but we use it as a terminology to help you understand where you are at this point. So, Jane, you said to get out of our own way, and that is a very important aspect of ascension, descension, raising your consciousness, raising your light quotient, and all the other things that you now understand as part of this. So it's not you, the whole of you, getting out of your way. It's the lower personality, ego, getting out of the way to enable the soul first, and then the monad, to descend into the physical, energetic matrix, to become its guide, its captain of its ship. So for individuals, a key question is, am I the captain of my ship? Am I aware? Am I able to navigate? Am I able to communicate? Am I able to connect with, feel, sense, see, hear, smell the sounds, the vibrations, the energy that surrounds me? So this may be a piece that is also somewhat imbued with stagnancy, because individuals, beings, find one thing that they love. It might be sound, and they stick with that. That's not a judgment. Sound is a aspect of the divine. It's not. Divine has many aspects. So we don't want to say one shouldn't follow one's passion. One shouldn't immerse oneself in what resonates for one until it becomes stagnation. Stagnation in the sense that it prevents the being from exploring other aspects: light, vibration, smell, color. All of these other manifestations of the divine are to be integrated.
Beautiful. Yeah, so what I'm understanding there is that if there's one aspect, perhaps we might be flowing in some areas of our life, but if likewise, if we are stagnated in one area, that we are held back somewhat.
We wouldn't use those words of being held back. How we would express it is, it lacks richness.
Ah, beautiful. Yeah.
And it isn't, integration isn't that the being must embrace, for example, they love sound, and therefore they must embrace color at the same level that they embrace sound. That's not what integration means. Integration means opening all the doors all the time, and not making a judgment about, oh, this door's hard to go through, or oh, this door's all about color and I'm not interested in color, or this door is about nature, or this door is about unicorns and I don't like unicorns, or there are many doors to integrate, many doors that open to areas of integration. And in this particular corridor or room of doors, integration is eased and facilitated by going through those doors, not by closing them and saying, oh, I don't do that, or I don't like sound, or I'm not into music, or I'm not really into crystals. So this picture, this picture that we're giving Lorna now is, it's like it's a supermarket, or more like a department store, where there are a lot of small stores within the department store. And the department store is vast. You know, there's a crystal floor, there's a color floor, there's energy work floor, and it's just to enjoy the experience of exploring these many aspects of the divine.
Beautiful, beautiful. So a question here: how do we discern when we feel that resistance to go through a particular door? How do we discern whether it's, say, it's sound, for example?
Well, we have shared tools, and we know, and you know already there are many tools. There is no one way, because every one of you is unique. Our suggestion is to find a tool that works for you to release resistance. For example, we gave, in the workshop on Saturday, we gave a tool which was working with the lake and affirmations. The lake has many uses. The lake is itself a light transformer, a light tool. So, for example, one could conjure the lake, as we did in that exercise, and place onto the slide the word color or a color. See what happens when it slides into the lake. Does the lake get lighter and clearer? Does the lake get darker? The lake gets darker. Follow up with surrounding the lake with the golden light until the lake is imbued. So that visual exercise with light and color will melt whatever the resistance is to sound, without having to go to the mind to understand why there's resistance.
That's beautiful, Lorna, and it feels so playful, and resistance can feel so rigid. And when I'm feeling that, when there's these tools that I can play with color or play with sound, it helps to soften and almost immediately dissolve that rigidity, and some way to soften the resistance, or my experience of the resistance. So that is beautiful. Thank you.
Well, remember
Yes.
that the lake represents the subconscious mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So our subconscious mind can get in the way of us working with resistance itself by its very nature. This is why tools with this tool that we've already worked with together can be very useful, as it does not allow the subconscious mind to make judgments or make discernments or create constructs that aren't supporting.
Beautiful.
Does that resonate?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Yeah, that's wonderful. So I feel for this, I don't know if there's anything else that wants to come through at this time, just towards
So we just feel
some
that
way
Barry
towards,
has a question.
yeah, okay.
I've been really aware, in a much more visceral way than I've ever before, of a version of purple or violet being present, moving at a certain pace and ever changing and moving as I've been listening, and curious about that in relation to what you were saying about the multi-levels of the cosmic supermarket and the superstore.
Cosmic. The cosmic superstore can be perceived in many ways. It is many things. As color. The color that you may well be perceiving is the color that is being radiated at this time. And why this color? This color transmutes. It's a transmutational color. This is why the violet flame is such a powerful tool. The color violet has many characteristics. It has its own essence and its own range of vibrations and expressions. So in this moment, you may wish to align with its vibration as it presents to you now, and that will facilitate a transmutation or transformation, a melting of something that is ready to be melted.
Thank you. Yeah.
So we are grateful and thank you for your questions today. Grateful for your invitation, and grateful that Lorna heeded the advice in the book to practice channeling. And we encourage all of you to practice, as it would serve the many. Peace be upon you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Vywamus. Thank you, Lorna. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Jane. And beautiful. And so perhaps the mantra, the word that's coming through most prevalently for me today is, am I the captain of my ship? And I love that. So yeah, let's take that with us. Am I the captain of my ship? So wishing everyone a great day, in gratitude, in joyful service, in love and light play.